And we are live. Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, happy time zones wherever you might be. I'm Emma, and welcome back, delicious friends, to Sunless Skies. Now on episode 14, which means it's not quite the longest game I've ever done, but we'll be there soon. Yeah. If you were here last time, you'll remember we started a revolution that then kind of went nowhere. That was fun. We've been donating hours to try and stave off the sun exploding, which I hear tell is a good thing to do, and we're plotting to kidnap someone from Perdurance. And probably a lot of other things are happening as well. You know I don't keep track of all my plot threads. My general idea for today, and I'm not going to say plan, because you know we don't do that around here. Right, we're at the Home Office. We need to go and give the royal dispensation to the displeased. We need to go to Perdurance and possibly finish kidnapping someone. And then I think we're going to do a supply run or two just of going to the Reach, picking up hours, taking them to the Sun. In theory, maybe get that done. In extra theory, maybe don't have my phone right in front of me when I'm starting to stream. Professionalism. And then, if we can get some stuff sorted out with the Sun, we can go back to the Reach. I want to try and do Mr. Apples' thing. I want to write some more of my book, because starting a revolution, possibly saving the Sun, and kidnapping someone from Perdurance are all things I can put in my book. And then, if we've got time, I'd quite like to try and go to Eleutheria, finally. We did everything in the Home Office, didn't we? Yes, we did. We should stock back up on supplies, just in case. What have we got on board at the minute? I have a bunch of stained glass. Where was that? Somebody wanted that. Why do I have all this glass? Who wanted this glass? Did I need it for a quest? Oh god. Cool. Yeah, can't see it. I have a whole bunch of glass for some reason. Even if I don't have anywhere particular it wants to go, I can just sell it in itself. Oh, hello. You are a big old scribe. A senior scrivener. Okay, so I lost like 10 hull just off that one hit, but at least I saw what it's called, and I don't have to just keep calling it a big old scribe spinster. Oh, hello. Oh, that's... Wow, we are off to an absolutely flying start. All my greatest hits of not knowing how to do things. Dodging the wrong way, getting shot in the face. I didn't drive into a rock unlike this idiot. And now there's a Scorn fluke. I'm going to explore this building just to give me a moment. The heavens are pocked with tumbled ruins from eons gone. Some are melancholy, some malevolent. Some hide treasures, others danger. Here is a ruin that predates London, its stones now bleached by the radiance of the clockwork sun. Trade visions of the heavens for a moment of inspiration. Yeah, I like those. Where the markings freckle the stones. The inscriptions are written in the language of the suns. You decipher what you can. They hint at a number of feuding solar alliances or conjunctions. Each conjunction upholds a different philosophy, as obtuse and fiery as the stars themselves. Yeah, well, we knew that from the last game, where we were all into star politics. And then we died. And now we just want to write a book. I'm staying away from all of those noises, frankly. So hi everyone, how's your day? Mine's going well. I've wildly overshot where I was meant to be going because I got distracted by that fight. Can't remember how to dodge. Seriously, I am just banging 1,000 right now. Close enough. Down the stairs to the sea. Saved by throwing them at a fluke, yeah. Ah, we can give 5 barrels of ours. That's a lot. But at the same time, I really don't want to have the gods pissed at me for much longer. Sure. You pour barrel after barrel of ours into the sea at the statue's feet. There's no sign that your offering was accepted. The sea does not tremble, the statues do not stir. You must simply hope that this was enough. You row away, your little boat much lighter without its lucrative cargo. Yeah. Let's see the displeased. Oh, return to the flotilla, that's the actual button I want to press. Speak with the careful masquerader. Commit treason. Let us test the severity of action you're willing to undertake. The Crown issues dispensations for exceptional service. Perhaps this would be easy for you. Perhaps not. Yeah. Me, do a crime against the Crown all day long. The careful masquerader takes the pages from you gingerly as though handling a flame. The tension eases from her as she rifles through the documents. She inquires how you found it. When I was favoured by the Empress before she left me to rot in this wasteland, I would have killed for such secrets as these. She looks straight into your eyes. I can only imagine how much this cost you. She throws the sheaf of documents into the fire. Did that hurt you? It certainly hurt me. Do you understand? I mean, it didn't really cost me anything. I can't even remember why I was given it. Oh yeah, I started a revolution, which I was going to do anyway, but sure. Now they want 5 barrels of ours. I just spent 5 barrels of ours. Well, all extremely cool and normal and good. Back to the flotilla. And also, doing that will advance the current date by another year. So, I should probably leave that until I've fixed the sun. And we leave. Okay, the mausoleum sells fuel and supplies, so we should probably go there, and because we're heading to Perdurance ultimately anyway, so that's good. Actually, let me just check all my officers' things. Are there any quests we aren't advancing and don't know what they're doing? The Devil, we finished. Both of them we finished. Okay, no. I just don't know why I've got these 3 panes of stained glass. I'll watch the VOD when I'm editing it in like 3 weeks and be like, oh, that's why I got them. I could watch it sooner than that. We all know I'm not going to. why we're stopping at the mausoleum. I have got my auto shotgun now, haven't I? That's exciting. Forgot about that. But then the only fight I've been even peripherally involved in so far today has been one that I categorically decided to take no part in. So it's all good. Something I can explore? Question mark? It should be the end. Yeah, there we go. Let's rest and recover. For a night, the crew can forget that they live on a cramped engine amidst the stars. Instead, they enjoy some small luxuries, the fact that they don't have to stoop to get through doors, and having enough rooms that they needn't share. They light fires in the grates, and pretend for a while that they live ordinary lives. Truly the height of decadence. Also, here's the son we murdered. This is some nice chill music they've got going on in the mausoleum. Lovely entry to port right up until the end there. As soon as I started to actually say something. Skyfarer's funeral. I have so many Sky stories to spare. Grab a port report. At the shops. They're selling cheap souls. Whatever. I will just stock back up on fuel and supplies and be going. That's all I actually came for. But also, hey, we got to go to some captain's funeral. I don't know what that noise was, I'm not turning around to check. Those are rocks, let's not drive into them. Abrupt change of music there as we drive into the fog. But it's all good. I was about to say nothing bad ever came out of the fog, and then something bad immediately came out of the fog. Everyone is on my case today just because I suggested I might have a plan. Oh god, there's another one. Oh, and their shots curve, that's extremely good and cool and exciting to know. And what's this? Oh, it's a lighthouse, okay. Lighthouses are allowed. As long as they don't shoot at me. If they start shooting at me, then all bets are off. Okay, that Scrivener is having a fight with Endurance. That's... it's bold. It's certainly bold. I have a feeling the building will win. What was on the other side? I think I'm thinking the mausoleum. It's over here. Slightly crash. Okay, but let's do a heist. Let's do a heist. Turn my gossip into a savage secret. Yes, thank you. Right, report. have a couple of invitations. Let's join the mask. Okay, so we need to have an inconvenient loose end. We need to, yeah, that's not the thing I need to click. Go below stairs to talk to the forewoman. Reconcile her with the lucky sister. You just want to see them happy. Well, and also to see the forewoman stays quiet about your escape with the heiress. You enlarge upon the luckless sister's willingness to renew her relationship with the forewoman and to elope together if the need arises. You should come with me, even appreciating my condition. Damn, at last, that girl's got 3 times the courage she does sense, and that's a fact. But I couldn't. You talk her round from her wavering. After all, it's true love conquers all, not true love conquers everything but some mushrooms. Although, frankly, that should be the phrase now. And we move onwards, through the darkness into afternoon. Speak to the doctress. All is ready. The sisters are willing to part. An avenue of escape has been identified. Is she prepared to do her part? Yes, yes. Give me a sign in the evening and we'll meet in the passages between evening and the parlour. Well, okay then. We never did successfully charm the servants, so let's do that. Or we'll fail again. Great, great, great. Cool, very good. And we move onwards into evening. And we escape. All is ready. You give the clairvoyant doctress the faintest of nods, and she clicks her bag shut with a determined snap. The evening takes an interminable time to end. You endure waltz after dragging waltz. Debutantes wheel endlessly across the dance floor. Then it's over. The music and the dancing cease. The chaperones and debutantes form their procession, ready to pass on to the parlour at dawn, or perhaps dusk, and begin the day again. You catch the eye of the presumptive heiress, who gives you a nervous nod. The door opens. The dark passage beckons. The procession files in. No sooner have you passed through the door than you hear a clatter behind you. The doctress has made a show of dropping her bag in the dark and searching for it. The chaperones are distracted. Taking the presumptive heiress's hand, you pull her to the hidden door. You've missed... Hello, welcome to the stream. You've missed me almost getting in several fights that I was not in any way qualified for and managed to avoid. And now we're kidnapping the heiress from Perdurance. You fumble at the catch. There's a trick to it, it seems. Hurry, your charge hisses. The catch turns. The door opens. You step through. You wait with the presumptive heiress in the passage behind the door of night. Her breathing is shallow and tense. You hear the procession move on, and then there is a tap at the hidden door. The doctress, who sees uncannily well in the dark, is there. You admit her. Right, she says professionally, scrutinizing your companion's features. Time to do my bit. What exactly is your bit? The presumptive heiress asks. Complete our escape. Her once luckless sister may even now be making her own escape with the fuliginous forewoman. But perhaps that's not something the doctress needs to know. The doctress removes an unguent from her bag and begins rubbing it into the heiress's temples along her hairline and just saying, I haven't read ahead, but from what I know of Fallen London, we are about to hit some body horror. Begins rubbing it into the heiress's temples, along her hairlines, along her hairline, behind the ears and under the jaw. If you disappear, they will look for you, the doctress explains, indicating that the other woman is to lie on the floor. Therefore, I will be your replacement. Ideally, I'd give that stuff another minute to work, but I need to rejoin the procession before you're missed. Be still and be quiet. Sitting astride the heiress, she pushes her sharp fingernail into the skin of the girl's temple and slides it like a scalpel around her face with a sound like tearing paper. I can't feel it. Why can't I feel it? The heiress gasps. The Doctress shushes her. When the incision is complete, the Doctress reaches up and, with a tug, slides off her own face. Behind it is a solid knot of muscle, palpitating and inhuman. Like a magician whipping a tablecloth from beneath a set of crockery, she swaps her face and the heiress's. A few pinches and tucks, the application of ointment from another jar, and the process is complete. "Done," says the Doctress. As the presumptive heiress feels the unfamiliar shapes of her new face, you turn your back as they quickly trade clothes. I'm going to ask the Doctress what she is, because I personally IRL know, but this way I can share with those of you who don't know the Fallen London universe. You are certain she is not, and has never been, human. In old London, your kind called mine snuffers. We were not friends. Few of us made the journey to heaven, or perhaps many of us did. Who knows how many of us hide behind faces you thought were familiar? She grins and is surprised by the shape and feel of her new smile. Then it's time to part. She returns to the procession, and you lead the heiress on. The governess's hidden tunnels wind behind the grand chambers and beneath the hour looms. You pass cells and shelves of records. Sometimes you hear voices and hide until they pass. Eventually, you find your way to an exterior gantry from where you can see your engine in the sidings of the parlour. Using a stolen lamp, you flash a signal until your crew comes to collect you. Yeah, we did a kidnap. Take her back to the mausoleum. We could go straight back into Perdurance and do the day all over again, but I can't be bothered. They're selling a bunch of cheap tea. I mean, we've got a... I'll take 5. We can sell them along with the glass at London. We won't get special offer prices, but we'll get plenty. There's a Scrivener out there, so let's go this way. Yes, I myself do not know that sound. I have, I think, maybe done one dissection in my life. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? This is a dead end. Got distracted by the existence of water. You know how it is. Speaking of sound, how's my audio? I had to move a few things around while I was fixing it, so I actually had a green screen. The levels looked alright to me. Just wanted to check that they all sound good. Sounds good. Excellent. Apparently there are wefts around here. Well, if we find one, then that's all well and good. We can jump in it. Oh hey, some Cantankerite and a Scribe's Mixture. But just a regular Scribe's Mixture this time. Oh, and some more Cantankerite. Oh god, there's so many monsters around here. But one Cantankerite on its own, we can absolutely just... Mangonel! Boom. That's remains so pleasing to me. Let's drop some terror, shall we? I'll cut around the top of this. That was, frankly, far too close, and I should give rocks a bit more of a wide berth, but hey, here we are. I'm going the right way, aren't I? No. No, well, yes, but I have to keep curling, circling back down. That's fine. is not a stream where I use optimized and efficient routes between places. You may have noticed. But anyway, here we are back at the corpse of a star, and now we've got the woman we kidnapped. She doesn't have the same face she used to, so we may have some trouble proving that, but hey, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I knew what was going on with the Doctress as soon as they said her breath smelled like candle wax, because that's like the thing with snuffers in Former London, is they trade and steal people's faces, and they eat candles. Yeah, true. Her mum shouldn't be surprised she hired the Doctress. Approach the Deathless. Visit the Macabre Counsellor. Well, she demands, do you have my daughter? As ever, these people, like they had character voices at some point, they are now different, because consistency and notes and checking my own tapes is not a thing. With the assistance of the clairvoyant Doctress's face, you've succeeded. Yay, odds. The Macabre Counsellor is as close to overjoyed as you've ever seen her, which is to say her mouth twitches, sadly. The presumptuous heiress's response is much more passionate. She drops the hood with dramatic flair. You let a bloody monster steal my face! It's just a bit of skin, dear, the Macabre Counsellor says soothingly. Perhaps it will grow back. If not, you should be used to masks by now. Before the presumptuous heiress can continue her tirade, the Macabre Counsellor draws you aside. Oh, satisfactory. You will have everything I promised and more. Now, if you'll excuse me, my daughter and I have important matters to discuss. Whoa, a Crimson Promise, which we've only ever seen one of before, 3 casks of gemstones. Where was it wanted them? I can't remember. Great. Well, I'll check the prospects when we go back to London, which we're doing next, so... Yeah, but even so, they sell for like 200 each, so I will take it. If we refill on fuel and supplies, or at least as much as we currently have room for, and yeah, next up, if we just take a ride back to London, where I will check the prospects before I sell all of this stuff, because we have, because they might have somewhere more profitable to send them, but then I think we start on my epic not plan, universe don't come at me, I never called it a plan, to visit 3 different regions today and do some commodities runs between them. And also work on a book, you know. So, there'll probably be a bunch of running back and forth between the same places, although I say that there is in this game in general. Oh hey, a resurrectionist. How do you feel about shotguns? How do you feel about presenting me with a broadside when I have an automatic shotgun? Good? Excellent. Strip it for parts, we need the repairs. Oh, nice! Full repair. Well. Okay, 109 out of 111. I can deal with that. We'll have to pay a whole 6 sovereigns to get that repaired. However, will I cope? Just trying to find my 6 sovereigns at the repair shop and then I just trip and drop my cask of Eleutheria and gemstones. Oops, oh, I'm so clumsy, look at me. I mean, I almost certainly won't have a dialogue option for that, but you know. Yeah, like I say, we'll probably have a lot of just going back and forth between the same couple of places as I deliver hours to the sun, and similar. So, I mean, AMA in the chat, I guess. Though most of you in the chat couldn't already just ping me on Discord and ask me anything. And do. Right, we're back at London, so... anything to explore? No. No. Let's check the prospects first. The Clockwork Sun want literature. The Royal Society want hours. I don't care, I'm not giving you them. Okay. Never mind then. But if we go to Spitalfields where we can sell 3 pounds of paints of stained glass, 5 caddies of tea... 300 a cask for these gemstones, so that's nearly 1,800, not echoes, they're not called that sovereigns. Excellent, that will definitely fuel my supply runs. Licensed insurrection, I think you maybe perhaps phrasing that a little bit strongly. Okay. Back to the yards, hand in report reports. Get 500 sovereigns. Trade for an unlicensed chart, because I will need one of those for the princess. The bookkeeper draws you a chart of a certain district of the sky. He does not label it, but draws a number of enigmatic symbols, mystifying to an observer who doesn't know what they're looking at. But clear as warning bells to you. Peril. Horrors. Death. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, we've already got a passenger on board to smuggle. There's still nothing to do at the tobacco shop, which I find sus as hell. I don't really need to buy anything at the minute. Oh, I didn't actually get any repairs after doing the whole thing about the 6 sovereigns and the cask of gemstones. Oh no, I only have 3,800 sovereigns left. Okay. Now. So, we've got 3 barrels of ours, but instead of heading to the sun to trade those in, I want to go back to the Reach, where I can, because the 2 barrels of ours will pay for me to go there. And then I'll load up on hours in Prosper, because they sell it there. Also, I think I have to deposit my passenger at Prosper, and then come back and go to the Sun, and so on and so forth. And see how many hours they need to fix it. Is there anything on that gorgeous new map I saw the name of and wanted to get to? I mean, yes. Easy answer, because there's 2 whole regions we haven't been to. Basically, everything in Eleutheria sounds so cool. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I just got and currently have framed the new map of the High Wilderness that they brought out. Oh, they have side guns. That's very bad. Cool. Very good. Why did I pick this fight? Do they have a dead zone behind them? Nope. Excellent. So just keep moving. Got it. Oh, wow. Those hit like a train. Pun actually not intended, believe it or not. Okay, but it's partly on fire, so that should just mean another good hit or 2 takes it out. Ahem. The deranged dreadnought's rabid aggression is stilled now. Your lights reveal glassy growths encasing sections of its ravaged hull. Where the battle has shattered them, they spill across the sky in a plume of shards and dust. I don't really want more glass because I turned up with so much of that anyway. Let's search the crew cabins. Progress through the dreadnought is hazardous. Half of it has been reduced to wreckage. That was me. The remainder is almost entirely vitrified. Glass cracks underfoot. 7 years bad luck with every step. Cool. Fail. Excellent. The captain's cabin is blocked by a cascade of falling glass that almost reduces you to a mass of crimson ribbons. You're forced to seek answers elsewhere. In another cabin, you find navigation logs. They detail a change of mission away from London. A Ministry of Works permit, stamped and sealed, gives the captain a broad remit to requisition materials for the maintenance of the Clockwork Sun. Cool, we got a permit. I could actually just use those to travel first class and not have to spend my hours. And 5 Terror, but frankly, I'll take 5 Terror, because, frankly, I feel like a mild badass after winning that, not gonna lie. Seriously, I swear combat was never that cool in Sunless Sea. But I'm not doing it again. Not interested. I can't even be bothered to drop in Brabazon, it's too much of a turn from our actual route. And here's the relay. Also, there's at least one, like, passage, indicated on the chart that I think, from how I know the procedural generation in this works, should exist. Like, there should be that one that I've been hypothesizing around the west side of the Royal Society to get to the sun more quickly. There should be a passage there, but procedural being what it is, not guaranteed. We have nothing to declare. I mean, yes, we're technically liberating this person from the work world, but that's not what you care about, so let's just move on, shall we? First class, we have so many permits. And we lose some terror. Hurrah! And we correspond to Stargate! I really love the wobble on it. You do get such a sense of this is a machine that we barely understand and don't even slightly control. We just know that if we push these buttons, it'll do the thing we want it to do, more or less. Oh hey, it's the Monitoring Habitat Span, everyone. That's another thing I saw the name of on the map and wanted to go to see, is the Monitoring Habitat Span, because I love it. Drop off a passenger. They've arrived at their destination. Nestled in the heart of the East End is an unremarkable boarding house with a selection of stuffed pets in the windows. Its taxes are paid discreetly by the philanthropist. You show your work world escapade through the door and ring the bell on the hallway table. The other boarders emerge from the rooms, silver-haired with wizened hands, welcoming smiles. Don't get any money for it, a little bit of XP, but mostly just we did a good. Anyway, let's go to the theatre. Now let's enjoy ourselves. We don't even get to lose any terror. Come on, game. Let me live. They're selling glass. There's so much glass going around. Grab another one of those, and then actually. Go up to 6, and 12 barrels of hours. You want hours for the sun? We got your hours. This is my life now. I am a trawler. I know I'm not actually handling any heavier because that's not a system in the game, but it feels like it because I just bought 12 barrels of hours. Yes, take my paperwork. I have so much paperwork. Just paperwork and barrels. That's all we've got here. There's stuff in the barrels, but really that's not important to you at this point, is it? I just realised it's been like 14 episodes of me forgetting to go choo as a callback. Eleutheria's Celestial Library. Okay, now that's something I want to go and see immediately. Because yes, I also kind of didn't look too hard at the maps of Eleutheria in the Blue Kingdom, because I didn't want spoilers. Now, is that deranged dreadnought still going to be hanging around here? I doubt it, because it usually advances time by like a day when you go through a relay, so stuff should have moved on. Yeah, it looks like we're good. She says, tempting fate to an extraordinary degree. There's tempting fate, and then there's slapping on a neon bumper sticker that says, "Hey fate, come get it." Honk if you like hubris. Oh cool, there's the storm that speaks. That's very cool and good that it's just hanging around there in the middle of my trade route. Yes, you'd probably all be able to see my framed copy of that map if I hadn't managed to get my green screen set up again, but I have, so you can't. Get wrecked, I guess. I don't know. There comes a point in, I think, every streamer's career where you just have to tell the chat to get wrecked. And accept that that's your life now. This train can hold so much hubris. This train is built of hubris. You don't think a map would wreck you? Well, have you seen the geography of these places? It's strange and eldritch. Cool. That's one passage that I thought existed and actually did, so that's useful at least. Fine, yes, I will hydrate and stretch while steering the train, because I'm a badass like that. Was that hubris? Yes. Oh, that's some crunchy noises right there. My shoulders are like, you expect us to move in this economy? My shoulders, which of course appear to speak in the voice of Edith Evans and the importance of being earnest. Because if your body parts don't talk like iconic British film stars of the 40s, what are you even doing with your life? Well, that was just some free supplies. And then I crashed into it, and aggroed it? Question mark? That's worrying. And here we have, I'm guessing, a guest ship? Or just a marauder? Dodged the wrong way. Yes, we're fighting now. Really like not to be giving them a broadside. Or driving into a big chunk of glass. You know that bit where I briefly felt like a badass because of that deranged dreadnought fight? The feeling has passed. Also, I did see listed on the map the legendary wrecks that investigating them was one of my options from Momentous Exploit. So in theory, I know the areas they should be in, but do I remember them? No. Look, I just want your rapid-fire mangonel. Is that so much to ask? Here, have some regular mangonel. No, still no mangonel. Unusual items, I like those. More hours. I'll take it. Should probably look to my hull at some point. It's looking a bit low because I keep getting in fights that I really shouldn't. They sell fuel here, so that's good. Again in Sunspur. Let's scavenge for some fuel. And fail. Why did we do this? And lose one crew, but got a bunch of free fuel, so... honestly, kind of worth it. They're selling munitions. Don't really need them at the minute. Okay, so Sunspur, into the sun, write a port report. Go to the steward. Yes, we have ours. Would you like more? Oh, what? We only needed one more load of hours, and we just bought like 5. Come on, game. I mean, I suppose it's my own fault, but still. Let's actually view the background. Down here, the sun's in its bed. An engine that beats like a heart. Pipes and wires crisscross in ways that defy perspective. Cogs turn in both directions at once. You begin to develop a headache. The steward is sitting in meditative silence, a cup of cold tea on the table beside her. She stands to greet you, slow and careful. Her hair is sparse, and what remains is pure white. Her once fierce eyes are rheumy, and she blinks languidly at you, as though struggling to remember who you are. Something is wrong. A smile twitches on the steward's face. She's cut herself on her teeth. Her chin is streaked with blood. Ew. I wasted half my life down here, she says. Last night I finally gave up. The sun could not be fixed, I decided. Albion would not survive. But in my lowest moment, sunlight filled my mind and I knew my error. How could I have hoped to fix perfection? A sun cannot die, a god cannot break. There is no such thing as dusk. Question mark. You notice the densely packed scrawl on the walls behind her. 2 words repeated thousands of times, often misspelled, eventually running into a single garbled stream. And for those of you who don't know what overexposure to weird judgment light does to people in these games, those 2 words are the sun, 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 and so forth. The similarly dazzled steward smiles. A little too brightly. Care to join me in a hymn? We got an enigma. Is this what we get? Oh. The steward abandons her toolbox and heads for the stairs. Engineers greet her return joyfully, but a cold silence settles when she begins sermonizing. The sun cannot break, she insists. It breaks near twice a week these days, shouts a burly engineer. What are you talking about? Neither your work nor mine is needed any longer, she replies, turning to head back down into the vaults. The engineer's outraged whispers become a clamour. We should rally the engineers. Can't move my thing around to increase my hearts. Let's just hope 83 is enough. They're babbling over each other, and you can sense the rising panic. They need someone to step in, but the steward is already gone. Oh, come on. You tried to shout over the tumult, but your voice is just one among many. What will we do without her? I don't know the first thing about it. It's already bad, and it's going to get worse. She helped design the bloody thing. Never thought she'd need to go back to London and get my family to the Reach. In the distance, a colossal cog grinds to a halt. Something snaps with a noise like gunshot. Still arguing, the engineers rush to deal with it. That's just engineers, though. So what, have we just failed? The similarly dazzled steward greets you with a guileless smile and asks you to join her in a song of praise. Speak to her. She spends her days singing and smiling. She's tiny and elderly and good-natured, and absolutely nothing like the person you once knew. She makes you tea and chats about her ailments and the glory of the sun. Oh, and one more thing. No more literature for the engineers. They need to focus on their sermons with the sequencer. Alright. So what, if we just failed the sun quest entirely, just off failing that one hearts check? Because if so, boo. Can we do anything in Azimuth? Can we do anything at the glass house? Huh. Is that just it? Because if so, boo to that, frankly. Maybe if we go into the dome? Okay, so yes, we just found a glass carousel in here. Brushing aside glitter dust, you discover a label on the carousel's base. Tempest Prognosticator. Each bottle is similarly labelled Philosopher. Something roils through the glass. After studying the carousel's controls, you think you have some idea of how to set it into motion. Not how to stop it. Yeah, let's do it. Wouldn't miss this for the world. Bottles rotate. Black shapes emerge from the fluid and slither up glass tubes. Something metallic springs loose, a dark mass is messily expelled. Thrashing, wheezing, scything beak. Your crew draw weapons and hack the creature apart, but not before it grabs one of them and snips him in half. Oh no, that didn't go great. We got some Tales of Terror, who knows, maybe we need those for our book. Our suit's still doing pretty well. Explore the Shalimar, because, you know, you find your path blocked by a tangle of bleached white foliage. The Shalimar garden exploded from its greenhouse long ago, feeding furiously on the sun's light until it swelled to a jungle. See, we can do that. Acid roses, predatory daffodils, snapping tulips with lamprey mouths. Have I mentioned how much I don't like hostile vegetation? Specimens imported decades ago from old London, the kind of common flowers that might be found at a street florist, but bone white and deadly. Your crew hacks through them all, leaving a swathe of slaughtered jungle in your wake. After much sweat and panic, you come upon one of the Shalimar's treasures, hidden in a tangle of pale weeds. An oyster shell encrusted with diamonds. The vegetation has already reclaimed the path behind you. Sighing, you order your crew to resume their work. Cool, let's leave, because that's not really helping. Alright, I guess we just failed to save the sun because we rolled a 1 and it's going to explode at some point, so... big well? Slightly dissatisfying game. We didn't bring our raveling jack because we needed space for hours, so I can't be bothered to dive into that weft. Okay, I guess... hell, I guess we're just going back to the Reach. After exploring this house, let's do some terror. Just a rest. Yeah, a little bit annoyed at that. I don't know why, that just rubbed me the wrong way. It feels like there wasn't actually a narrative payoff there. When all that happened was I rolled a 1 on a check that I couldn't not take. Okay, here's a Starseed Explorer. Let's take out our frustrations on them. Laugh as they drive into a wall and get shotgunned and die. Oh no. They haven't died quite as much as I'd hoped, but now we're good. Oh, let's loot the hold. Why not? I like a trinket box. Some moments of inspiration? Okay, I'll take it. That could be worse. There's a ministry ship, which has elected not to murder me this time. Speaking of being slightly salty, I'm never going to be over that, I hope you all realise. Once again, this is the bit where I made something approaching a plan of the universe taught me the error of my ways, isn't it? Is it hubris to think you can avoid hubris? Meta hubris. Hubris squared. Squubris, if you will. But maybe don't. And here we are back at the relay. Just coming back like Sun's haunted. I mean, I shouldn't be that annoyed about the sun probably going to die because, you know, I have been actively working for the liberation of night and all. And it's just a side quest. Okay, so it turns out I don't need these hours, so have them. The borrower below is watching me. Why? What did I do, borrower? Oh, I suppose I could have taken those hours to the horizon and used them to skip a year. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I could still go back through and do that. Nah, can't bother. Don't need to stop Prosper for anything. Let's head on to New Winchester. Let's see if I remember my way around the Reach at all. Oh, actually, let's stop in at Maudlin's, because we still have a thing to do taking the clay conductor there. I only remembered while I was looking through my journal, trying to find out why I had so much stained glass. If you know why I have so much stained glass, or if any of these issues have affected you, please let us know. Oh god, my favourite noise. Where are you, you bloody horror? Gossip for supplies, always a good trade. I'm going the right way, right? Yeah. Like I said, I don't remember my way around the Reach super well anymore. And soon, if we get to Eleutheria, I'll have no clue where I'm going, and it'll be just like old times. That's a very mushroomy homestead you've got there. Sky Story for supplies, also an excellent deal. Especially when you have as many Sky Stories as me. Because god, do I have a lot. Don't you just hate it when you invite a travelling captain to dinner and they turn out to be an author and they just tell anecdotes for 14 hours? Good job, good job. Totally nailed that. Professional, stylish. Paid money for Eleutheria. Into Maudlin's, write a report. Do we need to speak to the host to do the thing for the conductor? No. Go backstage. I can't remember. Actually go to like yeah, we've seen this before. I should know if they'll perform the music of the clay. I think we've seen this before. Yes, and they come in and it's actually that they're attendants in disguise, which is how Maudlin works. I hate to break it to you. But now let's talk to our not first officer. He was unimpressed by the music of Maudlin's. Should you be looking elsewhere for other candidates suitable for a clay choir? Ah, yes, he looks right through some of his old music and says he's going to take the afternoon off, and now we have to wait while he sulks. Which we can do. That's the thing we can do. Waiting is... letting time pass is, heart sickness. Brandy? Brandy. The best exit from a port anyone has ever pulled off, right there. This is the wrong direction. God, I am some real pro gamer play today. Just gonna drive into walls and speedrun through it. Turns out you can turn faster if you just smack the back end of your train into the side of the platform. I have no idea if there's anything approaching a speedrun community for games like this. But if there is, I'm sure it's absolutely wild, because all speedrun communities are. Big love to any speedrunners watching this. I do not understand you as people, but I love you. Eat food. Ah. Yeah. The homestead has a remarkably well-stocked meat larder, a surprise given that their livestock consists of a single mangy goat. The meat is gamey and rich, seared and salted with a thick slice of bread. It makes a delicious meal. We lost some terror, but also kind of sort of just ate some people. This happens. This happens to captains. You just... eventually you always end up eating someone. You know how it is. Disclaimer, if you're watching this, I certainly hope you don't know how it is. Or, you know, if you do, you do you, I guess. We're actually cutting it really fine on fuel. I should have bought some at Prosper or Maudlin's. But I didn't. And we're here now. More or less. Far too far west for the actual crossing, but hey. Why let little details like that spoil a good story? There's a Tackety Liberator. Are you going to murder me this time? No? Excellent, excellent. No, just complete overshoot. God, I haven't been here in a while. Dodge the wrong way, run into the sidings. I think that was perfectly executed. Professional. First of all, just refuel on these. Anything I can sell? Yeah, 8 barrels of ours. I won't take my Raveling Jack because I think wefts might just be an Albion, so I won't need it for now? Question mark. Anything happening in New Winchester? Anything happening at the club? No. Cool, cool, cool. Same as always. Let's repair because we need it. God, do we need it. Hire on some crew, because I'm going to need them in a second if I go and do Mr. Apples' thing. But let's work on our book. Speak to the publisher, because we have done many surprising things. Yeah, see, we've got 3 choices. The publisher leans back amid a halo of smoke. Imagine I'm the average man on the street, by which I mean a Philistine in the lowest order. What have you done lately to capture my attention? Well, we started a revolution. Suck it. You were behind that entire affair? The publisher grins. You never cease to amaze. The chattering classes from London to New Winchester have been speculating about the cause of the upheaval for months. This will give us some truly succulent publicity. Right to the fourth canto. Your previous typewriter died an ignoble death under your hammering fingers, and you've had to procure a new one. Time to make use of it. Level up. That noise is so loud and it always catches me by surprise. The blank page is no longer a source of panic. It's a field waiting to be sown, a block of marble hiding 100 sculptures, a sail that will whisk you to seas unknown. You sit down, crack your knuckles, and prepare to write. Before you launch yourself into writing the Song of the Sky, you reread the previous 3 cantos. You're surprised to find that its ethos, its purpose, are taking shape with a clarity you hadn't noticed or planned. Your attempts to capture the sky in words have tended to return again and again to a similar theme. The adventure, the loneliness, or the horror. I mean, it's got to be the horror, hasn't it? Given that we are writing, what was it, factual, journalistic style satire. Oh my god! And then adding horror to that, and I'm just writing Fallen London. Touché, fail better. The sour dread, the unwelcome dreams, the things you've learned that rub uncomfortably in your mind like a stone in a shoe. Yes, I had so much trouble finding my Tales of Terror in the first place, so this is for them. What do retired explorers bring home from the sky? A measure of sorrow, a smattering of stories. Most of all, nightmares. Too long in the sky will unlock a door in your head, and you cannot choose which guests will come visit. You will write about your dread, and not because you have a choice. Themes that have once lurked in the recesses of your mind now rise unbidden to the surface, shaking the last vestiges of your subconscious from their flanks. You finally get the sense that you know what you're doing, and, more importantly, where you're going. You sit to write, fingers flying, that shining spectre of an ending blazing like a beacon in your head. Until finally, you reach it. The fourth canto is complete. The omnivorous publisher puffs his cigar and holds your manuscript up to the light. A jewelled watch sparkles on his wrist. How long has he had that? Since he's been stealing all your advances. You should celebrate tonight, he says, pouring you a generous helping of whiskey. Then I want you to go straight home and start the next one. No detours. A fleet of assistants begin feeding paper into a dozen clanking printing presses. Machinery roars and the fourth canto is born. So yes, I'm here creating my art, and mostly its effect is to make my publisher rich, which is, yeah, accurate. You don't have time to ascertain the reaction yourself. The omnivorous publisher has arranged matters on your behalf, and you find yourself whisked away on a whirlwind tour of book signings and interviews. Your pen hand cramps from signing. You collect a reliable stable of answers to the most awkward questions from journalists and readers alike, especially an answer to the most awkward of all. When's the next one? Soon, soon TM, you assure them, but by the time it's all over you are beyond exhausted and in no fit state to write. The fourth canto remains top of the bestseller list for weeks. To write the fifth canto I would need another unlicensed chart. Dang. Oh well. Anyway, we should level up. Let's take a new facet. So, we can have our club. House of Cards, you've always been a gambler. Spell in prison. Following in our family's footsteps. Or time at the engine yards. What are our stats at the minute? With buffs, that's 54, which is a lot. 52. 49, 47. So ideally we want mirrors sub iron. That's not being offered, but we can do iron sub mirrors. Yep, sounds good to me. Steam and soot. You spent much of your time at the engine yards watching locomotives being built, repaired and decommissioned. They were iron behemoths, their bones steel, their breath steam, their innards intricate as a pocket watch. How did you spend your time among them? Learning how engines worked. You appropriated a workbench and tools and set to work, dismantling obscure machinery and putting it back together again. Because if there's one thing it's useful for a revolutionary to also be, it's an engineer. Let's be real. Okay, so we need charts, which is annoying. But hey, here we are. Especially because I can't remember of a good way to get them that isn't gathering tons of port reports in Albion. Well, let's carry on. I'm sure something will turn up. Okay, so what's next? What is next? What's next is that green screen I fixed will decide to stop being fixed. Ta-da! Alright. What even happened there? Okay, yeah, not sure what happened, but whatever, I'll check it out in the break. My room, everybody. Okay. So, what are we doing? We've got stuff at the nature reserve, but that needs munitions. The things I want to do, I'd like to, I think, go to the circus, buy a bunch of bronze wood, take it to Faith's Fall, and thence go and find the Eleutheria relay, which should be around here somewhere. So let's find out. Now, I remember saying before that that backdrop was gonna snap someday, and it would absolutely happen while I'm on stream. And oh look, it happened while I was on stream. And suddenly this room feels much colder because it's much larger, effectively. Oh my god, you idiots, learn to drive! Don't drop frames like that, game. I don't like it. It makes me nervous. Everything else is already going wrong. I don't need you crashing as well. They're just having a stare down with a rock. Good luck with that. Okay, thought that rock was about to damage me, but no, apparently it was light enough. Just drive through it. Corrected far too early there. Close enough. Close enough. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Here we are at the circus. Listen to some stories. Lose some terror. We are without terror. That's novel. Collect some free tickets. Write a port report. And port reports from the circus are of interest to the society, I remember that much. Attend a performance, get some stories. Go to the shops. Selling cheap seeds, don't need those. Okay, so, the Hoarder. It wanted 6 pieces of bronze wood and 5 spec room. Yep, that'll be good. I mean, it's expensive, but we can do it. And we have the money, so why not indulge? Ominous. Ah! thought that was more background than it was. Why not indulge ominous requests from the human-sized bats among your crew? You know, as the saying goes. Oh wait, 3 hours. And it didn't even start a fight. Exciting times. See, something had to go right. Oh, you're so dead. See? So dead. I may be perhaps over-equipped for most of the challenges of the Reach, let's be real. Let's just have some money off you. Okay, so it's going around the north end to find Faith's Fall, and there'll probably be a ton of guests around, which isn't ideal, but hey. Also, everything will be really fungal and gross. You know what I've really loved in the last couple of weeks? Not being here. It's been great. We've been in Albion, we've been in other parts of the Reach, and things have been occasionally, like, unpleasantly mossy. But not like this. Is that something we can mine? They look glowy, I don't know. Yeah, that bit in the Song of the Sky where I've written of my dread, not that I had any choice. There are just like 10 pages of me just saying, mushrooms! Ugh. No thank you. Not just guests here, there's an enterprising marauder. Well, you're so dead. No. Yeah, that one's my fault. You get one. Just strip it. Repair my hull, keep moving. Actually lower on fuel than I would really like to be. Oh well. Yeah, stop looking at backgrounds. Do the thing. Yes, he harvests a gland. Great. Yes, you got an angel gland, and it was dried up and gross. Okay, well, let's talk to it. And it wants to go to the House of Rods and Chains with some visions of the heavens, and I can do that, and I am on my way to Eleutheria, so that's all to the good. Thought that was definitely background, wow. Guess I was wrong. Is there anything at Hybris anymore? After everyone disappeared into a honey dream or whatever it was. Oh yes, they all disappeared into Parabola, didn't they? Through mirrors. Once again, I'm glad somebody else is paying attention to my streams, because I'm apparently not. Surely, sing a song, lose some terror, do the thing. Right to port. Scavenge Hybris for fuel and supplies. Hello, yes. 3 fuel and 1 supplies. Nice. That is like exactly what I needed. Cool. And they're selling cheap hours. Everyone's selling cheap hours. There's so many hours around. Okay, so if we go around it and then southeast, because it's either going to be like there or there, I think. I mean, I could probably find out a lot more accurately if I went and consulted. No, 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 don't like that. Oh god, there's so many of them around. Ah, no, 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 don't like you. How easy are you to kill with my shotgun? Colonized Cantankerite, really? Is that what they are? Have we seen that name before? Gotta keep moving. This is the one where we conquer our fears, yeah? And overheat our engine. We do that too. And then have the bullet hell section of the game. This is just rude. But it also means it's probably nearly dead. Or I've just pissed it off, one of the two. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Suck it. A colonized Cantankerite pulverized. That's right. A palpitating mycological mass of fractured chitinous legs, frilled gills and ruptured polyps. A growth of livid fungus has engulfed a small herd of Cantankerite. Now it's dying. The herd grumbles with one irritable, faltering voice. We should go see our favourite punk kid? No, because I'm going to Eleutheria, which is not where he lives. As far as I know, he could turn up there. We could dig for gemstones, we could try and find some edible fungus, or we could just destroy the remains. Gemstones are good. Sometimes fossils or gemstones can be prized from a cantankerized carapace. You'll have to carve your way through the fungus, though. The fungal sheath is tough, fibrous. It must be dug out by the roots which sprout between the cantankerized segmented plates. You use a sharpened trowel and leather-gloved fingers. Beneath, a glitter of valuable stones. I've got some sovereigns, got some terror, but most importantly, we killed it. Apparently there's something ghastly over here. Oh, it's a fungal meteoroid. What? I can't remember what we can get there. Gain supplies and terror. Perhaps you can learn something, question mark? I like learning something. It does not respond to movement, heat, or light. It does, however, seem inclined towards sound, emitting a puff of spores in the direction of two chattering crewmen. You perform further experiments. It ignores the noise of the engines and is unresponsive to music, but it does respond to singing. Apparently the fungus likes voices. Yeah, that's also worrying. I should really be using my scout to find out if there's a platform nearby. Ah, yes, this is the next bit in the conductor's thing, is a birthday party. And now he wants to go to Arclis, which is in Eleutheria, which is where we're intending to go. The scout found nothing on this route, which kind of suggests to me it's probably the other one, but might have just been out of range. I'm gonna keep checking my chart. Have I mentioned how much I hate this place? Because I hate this place a lot. General's Weave. I don't like that ambient red glow. That tends to say bad things. Oh, is this just going to dump us out around Faith's Fall again? Bloody is. Okay. About face. slightly worried because arguably there we both planned and turned around, both very much against my creed. We should not incite the wrath of hubris like this. Also, can I just point out that not only did I kill that horrible fungus blob, I took like no damage doing it. The 2 damage I've taken were just where I drove into a wall earlier. The ambient light is changing colour, which suggests good things, question mark? I think it suggests we're heading towards something. We're heading towards the mould pastures. Excellent! Just the kind of place that I would love to go. No, don't like that. Ah, but here is a transit relay. Yeah. A stone edifice, scintillant with signals, is encased in a contrivance of steel and brass. This is a Singh-Jenkins relay, allowing passport via a loophole in some cosmic mandate to a far-flung district of heaven. This one leads to Eleutheria, a place of revolutionaries and malcontents. It's little used. Yeah, that's because you put it in the worst place. So, it would be 3 ministry approved literature and 2 visions of the heavens, or 800 sovereigns, which frankly, yeah, sure, buy a travel permit. The unkempt man greets you with a groan. When you inquire about the cost of a travel permit, he winces. Could you be quieter? The whiff of alcohol offers an explanation as to his troubles. It's a work of many minutes for him to deposit your funds into a wall safe and fill in 2 separate ledgers, one stamped with the eagle's Empyrean emblem. He passes you an ornately marked vellum scroll. Might look nice, but they don't fit in my filing cabinet. Blooming Empyrean show-offs. He apparently feels no need to be polite about London's once ally, even though it was Empyrean technology that helped open the door to the heavens. Present ourselves to customs. Nothing to declare. Back to our engine. Travel to Eleutheria. Costs us a savage secret. Or 2 caddies of tea. Okay, well, we can do that. The workers here suffer from unremitting tedium. Relieve their ennui, and they'll send you on your way. The superintendent listens attentively, even takes notes. He has no intention of forgetting the slightest detail when recounting it to his subordinates. When you're done, he's almost friendly, going so far as to walk you back to your locomotive. You're barely aboard when the hour looms start up. The machinery grinds and stirs, the steam vents, the sigils of the edifice burn with sullen fire. A force like a great hand seizes your engine. Yeah. Doing something new. It's exciting. There was probably more stuff I meant to do in the Reach and forgot about, but I don't care. Right. And why did it say you may not be able to return for some time? What happens when we dock at the relay? Cool, it's broken. There we go. There's your problem. This stone edifice has the same contrivance of steel and brass as the others, but the metal is tarnished. The relay sigils are cracked and worn. The lights are out. The relay station is unmanned, and it seems from the layer of old frost, has been for some time. Can we fix it? The doors to the control room hang open. You could attempt to operate the machinery yourself. Nothing. Not a glow, not a twitch. The incomprehensibly complex mechanism is silent and still. There's nothing you can do to repair it. You will not be able to return to the Reach from here. Tales are told of Eleutheria in the Reach. Skyfarers have returned with rare goods and stories of vast horrors, and Almost certainly more recently than this relay went out of commission. There must be another way back. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll find it. We're good at things. But, for now, the things we'll be good at is taking a break. Yes, so I'll be back in probably about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to try and get my green screen fixed. I'm going to hydrate and... I was about to say shower. No, stretch. That's the thing you keep telling me to do. Don't tell me to take a shower, chat. It's rude. But yes. All of you should go and do the same, drink and stretch your legs, and hell, grab a quick shower if you want to. And I will be back in probably about 10 minutes. No, you didn't say shower, I said shower, and then I riffed on it. Keep up, don't worry. Yes. So I'm going to go and do some or all of those things, and I'll be back in a few. See you soon. And I'm back. Hello, everyone. Yep, as you may be able to tell by the fact that it isn't there, efforts to fix my green screen have been a unparalleled failure. So I am going to shrink this a little bit, just to be a bit less intrusive. Meet you about where I was. Hey. Cool. This is what you've got for now. It's been one of those weeks, y'all. Sound is low? Why is sound low? Sound doesn't look low on my levels. Like I say, my levels look absolutely fine, so sound being low may be a your end problem. Not to blame the chat, but you know. Because, yeah, my mic is in the same place, my levels are where they should be. So... maybe it was the way I was facing? Yeah, I mean, I was facing away from the mic while I sorted out my Streamlabs because it's on the other screen. Still a little quiet. I'll boost my gain just a touch. Was I facing away from the mic to breathe in? I'll be real. But no, because I always forget to face away to do anything. You get me on the mic, you get all my gross sounds. Anyway, I've put the gain up a bit. Hopefully it's enough to make the levels sound good and not so much as to make it gross and echoey. Keep me updated. Oh, okay, yeah, chocolate rain memes are lost on me because I am one of the few, apparently, internet denizens who never actually saw that. Anyway, let's try and focus away from all the crap that has been going wrong, and believe me, it's been a lot. And, oh, no, don't like that at all. What the Christ is that? I'm going to go this way where that thing isn't. Okay, so I'm assuming there's a port roughly in the middle, because that's how all of these maps are laid out. So I'm going to head roughly eastwards. But hey, at least I got a cup of tea without injuring myself. The tumid heart. This... already, the grossness does not seem to have decreased. Curators haunt these skies. Excellent, excellent, great, very good. For those of you who don't know, curators are what the Masters of the Bazaar are. Like our good friend, formerly Miss... what the... oh, okay, it's just the candle wind starting up. That was honestly terrifying. I've never seen them spawn in like that. No, and being in the Candlewind was eating away at my supplies if you'd see the bard pulsing red. What's that noise? Ah! Grievers! Okay, so first impressions of Eleutheria aren't great. Don't like those noises at all. The noises seem to have stopped, so there's that. I'm betting a lot on there being a port in the middle here. I think this is where Pan should be. Oh look, there's a Scrivener. Not gonna fight that. See all these fights I'm not getting involved in? It's great. This church is in the wrong orientation. Heartcatcher Gardens. Okay. Where are we? We're in Pan! There we go. The hour in Pan. Clocks are not welcome in Pan. Instead, the musical piping that emits from the adamant idol, which is very pleasant, dictates the time. The devils of the Brazen Brigade interpret it and inform the city of the current hour and the activities associated with it. An hour may be of any duration, the longest one on record lasted a month, and they occur in no fixed order. A wise captain heeds the hour before setting foot in Pan. It's the hour of trumpets when devils roam the streets. Prisons are forbidden in Pan. Instead, those who agree with other citizens too persistently are branded with the calf sign. Then, during the hour of trumpets, the Brazen Brigade hunt. Their quarry is supposedly only those bearing the calf sign, but when the devil's blood is up, they don't always discriminate. I really don't want to risk spying on the hunt with everything else that's happened lately. Let's just stay in quarters. Most citizens of Pan stay off the streets when the piping is merry and the devil's trumpets sound. Oh my god, why are we failing all these easy checks? You gather in the galley, but some faces are missing. A few of your crew have defied your order and gone ashore to indulge in Pan's liberties. Outside you hear the exultant peal of trumpets and the wild laughter of devils. You never see your wayward crew again. For God's sake, guys! There are no shops here, so this is not the main dock in Pan, I presume. Heartcatcher Gardens. A grizzled coterie of gardeners care for this unusual orchard. The plants that grow here are heartcatchers, whose fruit looks and speaks like human heads. Let's go to the Mimyricon. The inner gardens are surrounded by a hedge as thick as a fortress wall, knotted with thorns and strangled with vines. Behind it are the grove homes of the Heartcatchers, steeped in Eleutheria's midnight, and frequented only by their favoured servants. Within the Mimyricon, the Heartcatchers are big as trees and clustered with mature heads. Each plant is a council of intellects debating the secrets of the sky. Let's seek entry. An arch in the hedge leads inside. A dozen heads, grey-haired and bitter, peer from among the leaves. "Begone!" the heads insist. "You have not been chosen. You have not served." As far as you can tell, the whole hedge is the body of one vast, brambly heartcatcher. As you turn to leave, one of its heads whispers something, and the others snigger. When you ask what was amusing, a hawk-nosed head apologizes. "Sorry. We'll just never get used to how much your heads look like fruit." Finger guns. The nurseries? A series of finely manicured indigo lawns cover this corner of Pan. Peculiar plants grow in the beds, tangled as rose bushes and budding with fruit. The fruit is lumpen. Perfectly formed facial features are growing on it. This one has a frantic, staring eye. This one is growing an ear. This one keens pitiably through tiny, trembling lips. Silent gardeners, whose broad-brimmed hats are hung with veils to hide their faces, tend devotedly to the plants. Let's speak to a green-fingered old warhorse who... This is a look. He removes his hat. The face beneath is scarred and bleak. A soldier's face. He must occupy a senior position, for the other gardeners nod their heads as they pass him. Beneath his overalls he wears a rat-skin suit, ragged from the plant's playful thorns. There is a deadness to his gaze. Okay, lots of things we can ask about. About the petitioners. A number of desperate-looking people are lined at the hedgerow gate to the inner gardens. The heart catchers know many secrets, he says. Among them is a method to capture a death and seal it away so that it can't trouble you. If you fear a particular end, like drowning, say, or freezing, the heart catchers could hide it away. He takes his cage of squirming mice from his pocket, fishes one out and drops it into the thorny vines of the closest plant. The vines constrict, the mouse squeaks, the plant shivers. It's no guarantee of immortality, of course. 1,000 deaths await in the skies. About you, with your strange accent that I'm not quite decided on. Judging from his military bearing, he was not always a gardener. No. Once I was a soldier, and a commander of soldiers. I was good at it, as such things are measured. Now I keep the gardens, tend the heart catchers, and pray that I have no further effect on the world at all. Another gardener passes you carrying a bucket. Kneeling by a bed full of budding heart catchers, they tip the bucket over. The contents ooze readily onto the soil. So about these heart catchers. They're a species native to the heavens, he observes. Here in the nurseries, we help the younger specimens grow to maturity before transferring them to the inner gardens, the Mimyricon. He indicates some colleagues who are digging up the largest plant in the garden and wrestling it onto a cart while it tries, affectionately, to throttle them. You note its fruit, which are now big enough to resemble the faces of bawling cherubs. Once fully grown, the warhorse continues, their fruit can reason and speak and debate, more effectively than we even. Each plant is an entire council of faculty. So about this inner garden we couldn't go to. A hedge encloses it. An archway permits entrance, but is protected by a mature heart catcher whose cynical faces peer from the thicket. They excoriate intruders with insightful critique. Only friends of the heart catchers may enter the Mimyricon, and successful petitioners, of course, but the latter are blindfolded. Perhaps if you performed a service for the heart catchers, they'd warm to you. Okay. Good talk. Your accent might happen at some point. So here we can trade Eleutherian mysteries for an otherworldly artifact. Acquire a Crimson Promise by spending experience and Savage Secrets and Bombazine and Gemstones and a mystery. Wow. With some more mysteries I can prove my value to the Heart Catchers and ally with them, but you will not be able to ally with the Brazen Brigade or Winter's Reside. Okay. Oh no, I don't have Foretold Death. Oh yeah, my Foretold Death in the Sky. I could get, if I had enough mysteries, I could get them to remove it. That's interesting. Okay, well this has been mildly existentially terrifying, and also 2 people died. But you know, where's Pan proper? Scout, please tell me. What does that mean? What does that mean? That's not an icon I've ever seen before. Oh, well, apparently here's Winter's Reside. Where I think my aunt wants to go to meet with a revolutionary. Because really, if you haven't taken your aunt to meet revolutionaries, what are you even doing? Do they sell things here? No. A single street cuts through the groves. It houses an immaculate copy of London architecture. 3 of the revolutionaries governing Calendar Council have often been seen here. February, January, and ineffable December. Corncrake House. The Georgian house is 3 stories high, with silhouettes at every window. Some pace, others gesticulate, others have their heads close, perhaps conspiring. The building is rammed to the gunnels with revolutionaries. Light pours from the open front door. The doorwoman is slight, no real obstacle, but a continuous trickle of revolutionaries passes her, some burlier than your strongest stoker. If she wanted to refuse entry, she'd be able to enforce it. So, we need to be close to the revolutionaries to get in, basically. Okay. And they give mysteries, repairs, benefactors. There's some good stuff here. A solitary cobbled street. The street nestles amidst the ruins and trees of Pan, one end abutting an overgrown grove. Revolutionaries with secateurs wage continual war, rebuffing vines attempting to claim the cobbles. The Georgian houses are well kept and cleaner than they ever were in London, but only one is lit up. It is the focus of the activity here. Outside it, revolutionaries trade, compare wounds, and practice tirades. Their home here offers them solace and restoration before the next battle. Let's mingle. Possible free stuff, I guess. A full crew pours from Corncrake House, making for a freshly repaired engine. They carry maps, guns, and bombs. Okay, so we got a savage secret, those are always good. We can negotiate for a captivating treasure by paying everything, including a points of Hearts 9th. Were you initiated into Winter's Reside? This would be cheaper. Okay. And we would need mysteries to join the revolutionaries there. There's so much going on here, and I know none of it. Okay, let's see what the hell these icons are about. Basically, I just want to find somewhere where I can buy fuel and supplies because I'm running desperately low. I swear to God, if I make it to Eleutheria for the first time just to starve. The binding tables, great. A new port. Pan. Some achievement progress. God, there's a lot going on right now. King's Idle Station. Okay, this is Pan proper. Ah, they have shops. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Eagles Empyrean lies to the east, we need to know that. Piranesi lies to the north-northwest, we need to know that too. But most importantly... Ah, that's better. Alien Engineering. Ooh, purple tier. I mean, we can't afford it, but look at it. Lamelid Sky Steel plating, just 22, which is a lot. Rose and Adamant plating for plus 33. Oh, there's so much here. Tier 4 engine, which is probably terrifying, but 6,000 sovereigns, so not for the minute. And they sell ships here. They sell the Moloch as well. Medea class destroyer. Wow, it's the 3 plating, 2 large weapons, 2 bridge slots. So this is just if you want to be in all fights all the time. Nice. And here's the bank, which we know about. Anyway, let's do some extra stories. As exuberant as an old pirate den of the Caribbean, Pan's station teems with thieves and merchants, smugglers and evangelicals of inventive new cults. In a grove nearby is the seat of the Cypress King, who has little power. Well, let's visit them. Pan has no ruler, but it does have a king. The position is not a powerful one, nor secure. Their only real authority is to rule on any disagreements that can't be settled at the Forum. During the Hour of Thorns, anyone can challenge the king and, if successful, take the crown. In a burgundy grove, shaggy with vines and moss, the current Cypress King resides. None other than January of the Revolutionaries' Calendar Council. Ex-academic, anarchist recruiter, lover of crosswords. She wears a mask of 2 bearded faces, one looking forward, the other backward. Consider bringing port reports. Storytelling is forbidden in Pan, and one of the duties of the Cypress King is to trade mysteries for Skyfarers' stories of other places before they can be inflicted on the city at large. Though the dockside businesses use sovereigns for convenience, for most other purposes, mysteries are a more valuable currency in Pan. It's a city of secrets and of initiations. So, bring port reports here, get Eleutherian mysteries, which we need to do things. How leave Eleutheria? We broke the gate. You were informed that Eagle's Empyrean, London's nominal allies in opening the path to the sky, maintain a transit gate that leads back to the Reach. The Empyrean lies somewhere in Eleutheria beyond the belt of midnight. Well, a prospect I saw said it was to the east, which is so much more convenient than beyond the belt of midnight. And we can turn 5 savage secrets in a moment of inspiration into a searing enigma. Oh, and 2 crew. How about no? Here is Pan, the dusky heart of Eleutheria, built upon the sundered remains of a cathedral of the heavens, now overgrown with midnight groves. It is a refuge for rebels, outcasts and pariahs, for the unloved, the unmourned, and the unbelievable. Several factions have claimed fragments of the ruins, but the central dock is a neutral ground. It heaves with crowds, and the air is filled with cries and music and raving and laughter. So, you need to spend Eleutherian mysteries instead of money to repair. That's not ideal. Let's recruit some crew. We need those. Got 2. Sure, whatever. But anyway, we came here for a number of reasons, and here's one of them. Your aunt's attempts to find out what happened at the St. Dunstan's Rendezvous have led you to Winter's Reside and the Calendar Council. I've sent back the card. She's expecting us, your aunt says, leading you through the tumbled ruin of Pan, limned by pale moonlight. She's sending a coach. We're to wait here. Your aunt rummages in her handbag as you wait. World sweet, she says hopefully. It looks as if it could crack your jaw. Suit yourself. The only sound as you wait is the crunch of the sweet. And then, slowly and silently, a black carriage appears through the mist. The masked driver bids you enter the cabin. Your aunt does not hesitate to get in. Come along, she says impatiently, beckoning you inside. The sedan leaves you on the crooked street of Winter's Reside in front of a severe townhouse. The door is open and the lights are on. A handsome woman waits in the doorway to greet you. Her smile is wintry and her eyes pale as new frost. I got your card. I'm willing to talk. Come inside. Yeah, I talked to her. She attended the St. Dunstan's Rendezvous. She must be able to tell you what was discussed. Afraid I can't much help, old thing, February says as she... oh, Jesus. As she ushers you into her parlour. White moonlight floods its great bay windows. Anything you can tell us, your aunt says before gasping. Dearie me, almost forgot. She fishes in her enormous handbag and produces the bottle of brandy. For old time's sake. How lovely, February murmurs. I'll fetch some glasses. She leaves the 2 of you alone. Your aunt immediately starts rummaging under the cushion. She's hiding something. I was very junior at the time. Practically a secretary. February's voice floats through. Your aunt stands up straight as February returns, carrying 3 glasses. February hands you each a glass of your aunt's brandy. London did approach us about building an unclear bomb. I love that. We had an enemy in common, the masters of old London. The Calendar Council helped make them an unclear bomb. We used it to blow up the sun. She shrugs. But that's ancient history. Not sure why you bothered me with all this. Still, shall we raise a toast? To old acquaintances, never forgot. The brandy is amber as the death of a son. Your aunt's eyes are on February. February raises her brandy glass like a conductor preparing her orchestra. To the end of all tyrannies. To alliances forged for the breaking of chains. Your aunt nods and begins to sip her brandy. Her expression is worrying. Hazardous almost. Seeing her drink, February follows suit. I'm worried. I'm gonna not actually drink the brandy. You raise the glass to your lips and make as if to imbibe. Condensation from the glass drips onto your chin, and then you lower your brandy. Does this taste a little off to you? February asks, and then keels over. Your aunt pours the remainder of her brandy onto the floor. Dearie me, she's even more susceptible than I remembered. Very clever of you not to drink. Help me have a rummage through her papers, will you? You spend a frantic few minutes searching February, until you discover a folio concealed in her left boot. This'll do, your aunt says. Now, let's make sure we're not seen leaving. Alright, okay, auntie, what the hell? I need 3 savage secrets, but we've got those. The secrets of St. Dunstan's rendezvous are locked behind a nigh impenetrable cipher. Piles of pages are strewn across her cabins. I've been impersonating February in some correspondence to get more information, your aunt says in explanation. It's not like she's going to object. Working together, you discover the key to the cipher, various calendars from the Roman to the Revolutionary. From the documents, you learn that February knew that the final design for the bomb was held by Her Majesty's Privy Councillor. He died and is now interred in the Most Serene Mausoleum. If we could find those designs, we'd know for certain what our government agreed to, your aunt says. Okay, so that's a thing that's back in Albion, so that's not happening for a good while, probably. While we find out what's going on in Eleutheria. There's another one of these moon symbols. What's that about? Yeah, it's a platform. I wonder if it's a new thing in Sovereign Edition? That Scout discoveries turn up differently? Anyway, here's the Brazen Brigade. This clot of sable groves is home to the devils of the Brazen Brigade. At its heart stands the adamant idol, whose arrhythmic piping determines the current hour in Pan. The Brazen Brigade are its interpreters. They promise they are utterly impartial. Temple of Almost Time. One ruin rises above the rest. Dismal in its desolation, it commands the grove. From its broken windows, the adamant idol can be seen, like the moon viewed from a tower. The commanders and knights of the Brazen Brigade reside within. Here their solemnest rituals and their dearest venerations are performed, and we would need to be working with them for anything. They can give condemned experiments, interesting. And the Grove are far too late. Here the Brazen Brigade venerate the saints of hell. Reliquaries speckle the ground like gemstones on a cardinal's vestments. A hill rises from the grove. Halfway up it, a broken temple rests below soaring arches. Behind the hill, from the centre of Pan, the adamant idol is clearly visible. Long shadows move below the arches, swaying to the arrhythmic wail of the pipes. Well, let's go in. Walk in the fiefdom of the Brazen Brigade, the devils that aspire to seize heaven's thrones. Sound like my kind of people. The carved faces of saints peer down at you from arches and columns. Some have expressions of serenity, their many mouths gently smiling. Other, more ecstatic saints are contorted in sanctified rapture. A curious dilettante waves you to join him by a sunken arch. You're just in time. They're about... He's cut off by the sound of horns. A troop of devils thunder past. A single devil in a suit is their quarry. They pursue him to the boundary of the grove, where he disappears in the mists. They hate the Republicans of their kin, Dilettante whispers. They will not suffer equality here. Okay, less like my kind of people. Okay, so we could just straight up join the brigade here. We don't need any mysteries or anything. Frankly, I would rather join the revolutionaries, you will be unsurprised to hear. Or even the Heartcatchers. Let's speak to the dilettante anyway. He looks up from his sketchbook. I wish to witness suffering, not out of sadism, you understand, but my station in life has always been privileged. My art myself lacks something for it. Wishing to learn more of injustice, of doomed causes, I came here. The Brigade have been very accommodating. I think they appreciate the interest. As for the Brigade, they are unique among devils I've known. Their saints are the grand devils who once served in the heavens, but rebelled and were cast down, or imprisoned, or fled. The stories are inconsistent on the point. Okay, well... No, I do not currently wish to join you. If all you're looking to do is overthrow the rulership of heaven so that you can do exactly the same thing in your place, that's not what I'm here for. There's some eels that I can't harvest because I still don't have butchery. There's a lot of big empty spaces in Eleutheria and they make me uncomfortable. Speaking of uncomfortable, what are you? A dowser? Not great. Okay. I've got one of those too. Timed that badly. Nah. Now they just straight up missed. Shoot, and hit through no fault of my own. He swerved into that and then got shot. Great. You are taking damage also. Haha! The ravaged vessel is silent. Its flags have been torn off, its name obliterated with lampblack. The Dowsers are fanatical devotees of the liberation of night. They attack any engine that dares poison the dark with its light. Dowsers will be hostile if your headlights are on. Okay, that's actually quite good to know. Scavenge plating, because we took far too much damage there. Partial success. The lamplight flickers as your crew work. They are nervous, and with shaking hands come mistakes, and with mistakes arguments. The ruin of the Dowser groans ominously. Is there still movement inside? Yeah, let's go and help ourselves. Your presence gives the engineers courage, but as you pry at the plates, your own unease grows. A rank stench pours from within the Dowser. Was that a hand pressed for a moment against the inside of the window beside you? Was that laughter you heard from within? Gain 21 hull, that's good. A bunch of terror and a plaque from a Dowser engine. That's intriguing. And this is something. You can see something quite different through. Is there anything to see there, or no? Okay. This is Carnus. Okay, so something grave over here that we may as well check out. Oh, this is so neat. Some free souls. Cool. That's Carnus. And then we have possibly ports, I think. I would guess this might be Eagles Empyrean. I would hope this might be Eagles Empyrean, really. I thought I saw some weird purple radiance, but no, that was my chat overlay. Okay, no. There we go, those moons are not just ports. Good to know, and by good I mean a blind hermitage. A single candle burns in the cave entrance, not to offer light, but to deepen the darkness beyond. The air hangs heavy, with the ancient stench of blood, gristle and decaying flesh. The hermit kneels by the still breathing body of some no longer identifiable animal, their sticky fingers questing for whatever wisdom may lie within flesh and bones. Observe, get Eleutherian mystery, I need those. The hermit works their haruspicy on the dying beast, occasionally pausing to stroke its fur and close its eyes to the pain. Their cave is filled with bones and rotting meat and a smell that makes your eyes water. Amongst them is the wreckage of what appears to be a submarine. A second glance at the bones reveals that not all of them are from animals. Well, why did you expect anything differently, let's be real. This music is ominous, and I don't care for it. Yeah, it seems like the scout is now just telling me there's something over here, which I feel like is probably a new thing for Sovereign Edition. Where they were like, yeah, cool, we thought your scouts were too helpful, now we've made them less helpful. See, here there's just a ruin where I found some souls. Well, let's head east. We know Eagles Empyrean is to the east of Pan, so if we keep heading this way, we'll run into something. Great. After saying you'll run into something, I was really expecting the scout to find something instead of nothing. That's good tea. That's a storm. Cool, cool, cool. This is the Belt of Midnight. Oh, so that bit where it said beyond the Belt of Midnight. Well, we found the Belt of Midnight. There's a lot of lightning happening, and it worries me. I really hope it doesn't. I hope it's happening on a different layer and it doesn't damage me. And now we're beyond the Belt of Midnight. So, okay, yeah, when they said that, I thought they were being poetic. No, that was just straight up literal directions. But here is... turning my lights off. Is that a dowser? I think that's a dowser. No, that's not a dowser. Turning my lights back on. Well, this is certainly Carnate architecture. And... are those neon lights? Have the Carnate gone and developed it... like widespread electric light when I wasn't looking? Ah, here's the relay. That was seamless and perfect. Okay, so, yeah, we can use this relay. That's good. And that's how we get back to the Reach. I mean, I'm not going to, for the minute. There's so much to explore here yet. Okay, looks like that might be where the port is. Oh, the dog is happening again. Now it's coming from the rats nesting area. Rats. The inadvisably big dog might have gone after your adorable, vicious rodents. Let's check he's alright. The rats' quarters are even more calamitously messy than before. A thin sheet of saliva coats everything, including some of the rats. No one takes notice of you. Both the rats and the inadvisably big dog are preoccupied. Fear of God. You find a bugle amongst the rat's effects and put it to your lips. It tastes very faintly of fur, rust, and copper. You blow through the instrument. The sound sends the inadvisably big dog scampering in terror. Didn't mean to shoot that. That was not an act of international aggression. To any white and golds who might be watching. Lane of Lions and Unicorns, a little piece of Albion on the edge of the Empyrean. Here, Her Majesty's embassy works tirelessly to maintain cordial relationships with the Imperials. Well, we can hire some crew. We need those. A feline eccentric, a woman sits at the station side in oil-stained overalls. 3 overfed, baleful cats lounge near her. I'm looking for work, she says, climbing to her feet. The cats observe you with naked hostility. I'm afraid they're part of the package, she says, indicating them. Sure. Yeah. Also, +6 mirrors. I don't really have many that boost mirrors. As she climbs aboard, she pats your locomotive's boiler fondly. Hello, my girl. As she makes her way towards her new cabin, the cats tangle around her feet, almost tripping her. And you know what this means. New personal quest line. London's Enclave. Her Majesty's embassy dominates this little street, but the eagle stands above the lion and the unicorn on the street sign. London and the Khanate once worked together to enter the High Wilderness, but their alliance since has been tenuous. It's preserved only by desperate diplomatic endeavour and a number of carefully preserved fictions regarding what the other is up to. Well, first of all, let's grab a port report. Beyond the antique facades of the Lane of Lions and Unicorns, the Empyrean rises high in steel and blue light. The constraints of its location necessitate that the Empyrean builds upwards. Careful porticos give way to expansive temples and crowded markets. People live cheek by jowl. Light is precious and easily lost. Power is conserved carefully. When times are bad, whole districts go dark. It would be easy for hopelessness to seep in. The Khan occupies his people with festivals, celebrating his people's history of the old Khanate and constant technological innovation. To be idle is to be afraid here. The Empyrean is busy at every hour. Introduce ourselves at the embassy. The embassy is a fine example of Georgian architecture. Inside, the elegance gives way to a pandemonium of desks where bureaucrats minutely scrutinise their correspondence. Any mistake could trigger a summons to the Khan and the possible expulsion of the embassy. Each is hunched with age, with hair as white as lustrum snow. The ambassador's secretary is assigned to handle incoming captains. He reaches over a mountain range of papers with a visa. Please, don't make additional work for us. If you must visit the city, be polite. I always am, except when I'm not. First I want to check the shops. They're selling cheap bronze wood. They sell munitions, fuel and supplies here. Stock. An Altani class Outrider. It would give me an extra orc slot, so I'd be able to have all 3 things, all 3 skills equipped. It would mean losing 30 hull though with the plating drop and everything. But it's faster, more space for crew, more hold. It's electric, and it's cool. I shall think. But here's the Empyrean. The electric and neon jewel in the Eagle Khan's crown, and the only Empyrean city in the High Wilderness. A solitary bastion of brightness in the long night of Eleutheria. Let's get some repairs first. Oh yeah, costs the same as in any of the main ports. Excellent. The visa checkpoint. A modest checkpoint stands at the end of the Lane of Lions and Unicorns. Visitors to the Empyrean must have their papers checked. There's a queue to get past the guards, but it moves efficiently. Here is visa. You are welcomed to the one true civilization in Eleutheria. You're as free to explore as any citizen. Aha, yes, we have things to do here. The fortunate navigator wants to go to Borogorel Graveyard. The navigator knows the way. Best not tell the guards where you're going, however. Tourists have no business in graveyards. Gawping at tombs is a peculiarity of the British, viewed with suspicion. Each street is lit by evenly placed electric lights. The light is cold and casts hard shadows. Empyrean citizens hurry by in silks and cloth. There is always somewhere to be in the Empyrean. All who live here work. There's no space for idleness. Spot a bespectacled official. An Imperial man has been following you since you left the Lane of Lions and Unicorns. The bespectacled official sidles next to you and adjusts his cravat. I need an observer to bring me the latest goings-on in Eleutheria. A traveller would suit my purposes very well. Perhaps we could discuss it over a little tea and a friendly game of mahjong. There's a little park on the Lane of Lions and Unicorns. I'll be by the rosebush. So, you're an Imperial spy. But sure, if you're probably going to pay me. A nod is enough. The official adjusts his glasses. You go your separate ways, so this will be somewhere else to hand in port reports. Enter Borhiero Graveyard. Some of the stone tombs are as small as a locomotive's brick, others are as large as bank vaults with walls twice as thick. Electricity is not wasted on the dead. Instead, a caretaker regularly replaces the candles in every nook, on every corner of each plinth. The embalmed rest in an unsteady gloom. Brooding stone shadows shift uneasily. Ah, yes, because we are here to steal the corpse of his childhood friend. Because they promised each other they'd go on adventures, and then his friend died. Yeah, we can distract. We have visions to spare. She works in the flickering dark, away from the Empyrean's electric light. Perhaps she'd appreciate hearing of the incandescently sublime. The caretaker sits with you on a low stone slab at the far edge of the graveyard. She listens in silence. A flaring candle catches something glinting on her cheek. When you leave, she remains in quiet contemplation. The navigator is waiting by the graveyard gate. He grins awkwardly. He's used rope to tie the corpse's desiccated wrists to its ankles and is wearing it like a knapsack. The corpse's head lolls against his shoulder, its embalmed face almost restful. Back at your locomotive, the navigator meets your eye, then bursts into incredulous laughter. We did a thing. Let's talk to him about it. So, oh, you want... I only have one unlicensed chart. Why does everyone want one? No. No, I bought this for the princess. Although, the princess I would need to find Piranesi. This... You're here, and he's awesome. As you enter the navigator's cabin, he preempts anything you might say by shouting, "Bring me a map. Something that says, 'Here be monsters.'" Then a pause. "Please, Captain." Alright. Altan's body is propped in the navigator's desk chair, cushioned with his pillow. Embalming has preserved the body. Its limbs are too thin, its skin a greenish-grey, but it looks peaceful. It faces the window, and it's probably for the best, the eyelids are shut. The navigator talks while he works, scrawling circles and routes on your chart. King Gaisa was a slayer of demons. We must battle a monster of the skies, something fearsome, maybe a senior scrivener, a scornfluke, or one of the underparted. Something worthy of a song. The map he returns to you is so enthusiastically marked that it is unusable. Oh great, and all of those are in Eleutheria to look out for. Great. Great and cool and good. Looking forward to it. Oh, and because I left to talk with him, I'm only allowed him once a fortnight. Oh, come on. And this is your spy. We can give him plaques from Dowser Engines for money or to reduce terror. We can smuggle in ministry permits, but we need to be popular to do that, or smuggle visions of the heavens. What is the Khan currently interested in? Just on the off chance. The House of Rods and Chains remains an uncomfortable mystery on our borders. It is a difficult place for our people to remain inconspicuous inside. Perhaps you could be my eyes. The official carefully places a mahjong tile onto the board. Your move. Lies to the north-northeast of Pan. Okay. Also, yes, have this engine. Give me money. 50 sovereigns. But really, I just want to go back into the Empyrean. No, no. Oh, I'm so tempted by this ship. I mean, I could trade for free, but then I can't trade back unless I get back to London where they sell the Aquaphane. Sod it. We 30 hull is fine. We don't take that much damage usually. And this will be because it seems appropriate for the Empyrean, and because it was my second choice of name for this ship, and because it's very much also my brand. Welcome aboard the Sleepless. The bank is back in Pan, boo, so can't stow that armour for now, but that's fine. Look at our ship, it is nice. And we have an extra assaying slot, so... Assaying? An extra orc slot, so if we found anywhere that sold butchery equipment, we could buy that. And we have so much hold space as well, let's go up to 7-7, why not? Ooh, and it's faster. Look at it. I think it's faster at least. So north-northeast of Pan means north of here, really. Well, like anti-clockwise of here. So let's just go exploring. I've got 10 minutes. We need to find House of Rods and Chains, we need to find Piranesi, we need to find Atlas. We need to find some monsters and try not to die. There's an Empyrean Outrider that we don't want to piss off, but hey, we're driving one of those now too. Well, not quite the same, they look a lot beefier. But do they have a Mangonel? No, they probably have something better than a Mangonel. And we're back into the Belt of Midnight. There is just a lot of open space in Eleutheria. I'm used to things being labyrinthine like they are in the Reach and occasionally in Albion, and... what is that over there? The Empyrean has built a homemade moon. Oh, look at that! I kinda love it. Ah yeah, and it counts as a wonder, obviously, so let's just go near it for some free terror reduction. The Xanthus Moon, and I do love that word. The nearest land to the Xanthus Moon is the Moon's Sill. The path between it and the Empyrean main dock is well travelled by groups of small, privately owned engines. Each convoy resembles a crowd of fireflies drawn to the light of the moon. Want to feel the texture of that section of the map. Yeah, it does. They travel here to perform rites of resolution and renewal and to conduct the mandate of the moon. And to drink peach tea. Dock at the Moon's Sill. Several Empyrean engines have landed already. There's room for plenty more. The Imperials light lamps, one is pressed into your hand. Each group walks towards a gentle hill with the summit flattened off sharply, a boiled egg that's been detopped before it's eaten. The Imperials crowd the hill's flanks. No one stands at the top. It is time for the rite of renewal. Okay. The Imperial... no one stands at the top. That privilege will be for the engineers, those brave souls who are to travel to the Xanthus Moon. They will live on the gantries of the moon for the next fortnight, performing essential repairs and maintenance. Doing so will earn them the enmity of the things that live in the dark. They cannot return till the time of the next rite. So, we would need Bombazine to participate, but let's watch. A throng of temporary stalls caters to the crowd. Merchants haggle over mementos, others offer cups of only the very best Irag. One enterprising youth charges for the use of lantern repair tools, taking business from his neighbour, a lantern seller. From the bustle, trade seems healthy. And we're done. The ceremony over, they depart, still holding their wax paper lamps. Impatient captains frown at crew putting off boarding to prolong conversations. Exasperated parents hunt for straying children. It'll be a little while yet before the moon's sill is back under the sole stewardship of its caretakers. But I am glad we found that. That is lovely. It's so cool. Like, playing this before, back when it was originally, back when I was playing on my own, I'd pretty thoroughly explored the Reach, and I'd been through about half of Albion. So a lot of Albion was a surprise to me. But literally all of Eleutheria is a surprise to me. And I must say, I like it a lot, except when it's all monsters and death. Oh hey, more heart sickness. Let's just listen to their tales. Give me a tale of terror and a savage secret. Nice. Those are good tales. Think about them more, or think about them less, but immediately tell me. What is that? This is the Inklings, where bad ideas come from. Love it. I don't like this music, I don't like these clouds of ink question mark. I don't like these noises. Really don't like those noises. Don't love these giant bones. And whatever's going on here, don't love it. Don't love it at all. Carapace. Great, that's possibly the least reassuring thing you could tell me. Well, we found a dock. Where are we? What are we docking at? Just the Carapace. Nobody told me about this place. Oh, it's the House of Rods and Chains. Excellent. Vast, desolate, broken. Once this creature flew majestically through the heavens, now it floats in silence, a monument to a judgment's wrath. So yes, this is a giant... Oh yeah, it's the one that's a space crab. You can just about see in the art there. It's a space crab, and it fought an angel and lost. Oh, Mr. Menageries here. Well, let's say hi. We don't need we don't need any of those things. We don't have a Ratronaut, but we'd need a condemned experiment, which is expensive. So let's just listen to one of his stories. One of its stories. Mr. Menagerie shies away from the looming door. It retreats further into its cowl, so even its garnet eyes are lost in the gloom. A mistake to come back. A place of chains, a place of servitude, a place of torment. And treachery. This last is intoned in a voice like a toppling tombstone. The light binds, the light blinds, all things it places in a chain. Our place is our worth. Some accept. We liberate it. Oh hey, it's the great chain of being again. Everyone loves the judgments, and nobody is revolutionary at all. Cool, don't need any of those things. Bye. See you around. The spire of inches. 7 obsidian spires once stretched into this sky. Only this one remains. Dim light oozes through a single window at the top, occasionally flickering as someone or something passes in front of the fire. So we can present tribute, which I'd love to know what that's going to do. Knock on the door. There's no handle on this side, just the barely perceptible outline of a door with a circular symbol roughly carved onto it. There's no response. The obsidian surface absorbs the knock, leaving the rap of your knuckles sounding small and hollow. There's no answer. See, I've got to know. I have 2 searing enigmas, which is more than one. A word spoken by a son. The keeper of the spire will be eager to pass this intelligence to its master. Behind it, 777 steps wind up the wall, leaving an open chimney in the middle that would be ideal if you had wings. At the very top waits a hunched figure wrapped in gauze. Are you friend, I wonder, or foe? No matter. You may call me Mr. Barleycorn. You have proven yourself resourceful. Let us see if you can also be useful. Cool. Here's, I'm guessing, one of the old masters. You're in a room, of sorts. It's bulbous in shape, not unlike a kidney. The furnishings, if that's what they are, look like the work of a surrealist. This straight-backed, many-legged edifice is perhaps a chair? That oily surface, a table? An altar? Behind it, the hunched gauze figure stands looking out at something far away. A black sun. The darkness squirms. So... about that bit where I could maybe be useful? There were 7 of us once, outcasts bound to this messenger's service. But the messenger defied the Halved's command, and the Halved slew it. We were free. My colleagues fled, but I remained to serve the Halved. The creature sighs. Don't mistake this for more than it is. I am not lonely, it spits the word. But our shapeling guests downstairs are poor conversationalists. It has been a long time since I spoke to any of my kind. If you find one, show them this. It hands you a wax seal imprinted with a sigil. Collect their stories. Perhaps advise them I would not resent a conversation, should the wings of fate allow. Well, one of them is on my ship. The train. Consider the black sun. The window of Mr. Barleycorn's study frames it perfectly. The sun writhes, a flicker of fire escapes its coils, only to be dragged back and quenched. My lord, the Halved wants judgment of measures and distance. Mr. Barleycorn bows to it. He knew of London. He beheld it through a wound in the world. We reached out and set his mark on those who trespassed on the wound. They became our messages, and when they found their way to the skies, their marks led them here, to the land of do-as-you-please. The creature examines you. Would you care for one? A mark? I have 1 or 2 left. This is probably a terrible idea. However, it's also incredibly on brand. What could be the harm? Mr. Barleycorn clamps its arm around your shoulder. For a few agonizing minutes, it feels like a hive of bees are at work on your flesh. The creature releases its grip and the pain eases. You twist to see it, an eye embedded in your flesh. Great. What could go wrong? Examine the altar? Question mark. Its surface ripples oleaginously at your approach. Touch the surface. The world twists and there is only darkness and water and cold and drowning. You kick your feet, thrashing to the surface. Impossible. The sky with its false stars, the green glass expanse of an ocean without waves. This is the Neath, the vast subterranean cavern in which London lay before climbing to the heavens. And the cold black waters you are thrashing in are its undersea. Freezing water, thrashing legs, absolute darkness except the dim glimmers of false stars above. The Z, stretching out forever under a stalactite sky. Dark, deep and unforgiving. swim for land. But which way is London? The Avid Horizon, Port Carnelian. A shout for help? There is no point. Your voice is hollow, swallowed up by the cavernous neath. If we drown in a table, I swear to God. Give up. There is no London down here anymore. There will be no rescue. You let yourself go limp. Let the water into your lungs. The sea embraces you. Water covers your eyes. It fills your lungs. The currents of the sea tug gently at first, and then more forcefully. The pain of drowning gives way to a softer agony of unconsciousness. In the darkness, an eye. It opens and the world is upside down. You fall to the floor of Mr. Barleycorn's study, coughing up water. The gauze-wrapped figure barely looks up from a spindly instrument that resembles a driftwood harp. Do be careful what you touch, it advises, plucking at an oily string. Yeah, point made, I guess. Okay, let's go back downstairs. Ah, but we don't have to pay tribute every time we want to go up. Excellent. So, Mr. Not Apples. Would you like to see this seal? Also, did we ask if it knew Mr. Menagerie? Did we ask that before? I can't remember. Let's ask it. Silence, the kind not unlike a man trying to recall a favourite meal, overtakes the Chiropterous hoarder for an interval. At last it brightens. It sells delicious things. Anyway, here's the seal of Mr. Barleycorn. You recall the curator's desolate request. No reason to leave it unfulfilled. The Chiropterous hoarder gazes long at the seal, its expression impossible to decode. At long last, it sighs. I would talk with Mr. Barleycorn and dig his knowledge of the stars from his heart. But I am not the one he wants, not from its flock. It will only be more morose from our meeting. It pauses. If you meet it again, tell it that I understand what it is like to be incomplete. To have what you want out of reach. I mean, cool, I'll go and tell him now. Pass on the hoarder's message. You spoke to the Chiropterous hoarder of Mr. Barleycorn, like, a minute ago. Here is response. Yes, says Mr. Barleycorn, and it lets go of a long, long breath. Forever is a septic injury, one that cannot be cured. The only panacea is something none of us can abide. Our animal hearts will not allow us the solution. It falls silent for an ageless moment. Give them my gratitude. It was good to know at least that someone understood. Do we need to actually pass that on? No. Cool. Let's go into the house proper. The air tastes of salt and rot. Up close, the carcass of this ancient crustacean resembles a battlefield. Its carapace is pockmarked from the impacts of sky detritus, and cracked open from the impact of 6 spires. Doors of leather, rubber, chitin, scale, fur, flesh, and feather lead inside, each of them carved and branded with a letter of the correspondence. Let's attempt to open the chitin door. The other doors are tightly closed or too high to reach. This one is slightly ajar. It takes every last drop of your strength, and the chitin door fights you all the way. It's as thick as armor plating and almost as heavy. Inside, 100 rubbery men carefully ignore your arrival. Refugee Londoners you recognise, the giveaway being their hats on their tentacle faces and the yellowing copies of the Gazette under their clammy armpits. Such earnest social camouflage never helped them fit in with society back home, but it seems old habits die hard. The Throat of Lamentation. That's a good name. The rubbery men have taken over this spiral-shaped atrium. They gather here to trade amber, and share songs of loss and regret. Its shape gives it excellent acoustics. The songs resonate from the walls, doubling the volume and timbre of their voices. So, about that gland. Yeah, we have visions. Persuade a robbery man to take you to the Gland. You have rumours of Axile to trade for directions. Surely this would tempt one of the robbery men. Axile is the planet that the Flukes came from, and then they made the robbery man, for the record. Your guide is an emaciated figure, badly contained in its rags, tentacles pocked with scars. It's piteously eager to be of service. The path it chooses is convoluted and wetly brilliant. Hours into the descent, you find the Gland, livid with parasites, gleaming verdigris in the light. You give the robbery man its prize, and its broken-hearted crooning accompanies the next part of your labours. There is the Gland that the Chiropterous Hoarder sought. Pustulent, tumorous with parasites both disc-shaped and filament-thin, blue-gold where the light oils along its membrane.
Here it is!
Cries the Chiropterous Hoarder, rapturous. Extract it. It'll tell you what you need to do. The Chiropterous Hoarder flings itself at the Gland, screeching at the parasites with such volume that some tumble from the organ, concussed by the assault. As you watch, it tears at the infestation, and then at the Gland itself, gouging through tissue matter until at last a black fluid leaks.
Kill the parasites and gather them too. Those glandular secretions were mine. How dare they drink it? Take them and drain them too, it barks excitedly. I have to prepare. You finish. I am going.
The Chiropterous Hoarder absconds with a palmful of pulped meat, leaving you and the crew to harvest what remains. Sure, I guess. Talk to it back aboard. Let's make a port report. The robbery men are far from home, even for the high wilderness. The robbery men show little interest in you as you explore. They shuffle around on their own business, polishing and cleaning and preserving the corpse of the house with equal parts elbow grease and embalming fluid. The lament of the old sun? The robbery men are gathered. They lower their heads, raise their voices. Words without language, pain without end. They sing of their lost home, and in waves of shared sorrow they remember how they came to this place. They sing and remember. Silence falls, sudden and heavy. A hunched figure shuffles through the choir, and the robbery men fall back. This is Mr. Barleycorn, or so it is called by lesser beings. Its form is indistinct beneath layers of gauze that wrap it, if not from head to toe, then at least from top to bottom. One robbery dares approach, extending tribute, gold and amber. The figure takes it between clawed appendages, tastes it, appears to approve. Got a mystery? Excellent. Offer passage to a robbery man. Not all of them are happy here. They mumble of opportunities in Pan. The robbery passenger hurries to your train as if fearing you might change your mind. It travels light. A newspaper, a hat, a packed lunch squirming in a paper bag. And there's a marketplace. The robbery men sit around the edges of the atrium, ready to trade and offer their services. Polished ivory bones carve the walls of the throat into convenient alcoves. Each has been appropriated by one or more robbery men, squatting on Hessian mats and running stalls inspired by their time in London. They trade in amber, a naturally exuded substance of their kind, making trade more ceremonial than commercial. So, we need colours of amber to trade for things. Right. Including just pay to have sex with robberies. Need mysteries to trade for amber, but trade for curiosities. One robbery trader has a particularly large stall. Its wide array of goods are mostly worthless. This robbery trader sits on a mat strewn with oddities, baubles, novelties, trifles, curios, gewgaws, beads, bagatelles, whatnots, and junk. If there are diamonds hiding in this particular rough, they are likely glass beads with pretensions and value. However, treasures have been found in the unlikeliest of collections. Right, so you can trade amber for random goods. Well, examine the store. Their stuff is unlikely to be on display. You have to hope so. At first glance, there is little of note. Second and third glance confirms this. While there are some trade goods from the high wilderness itself, most of the robbery trader's collection consists of familiar London goods of little worth. A guide to breeding hector goats, an old permit for the Echo Bazaar, counterfeit, and a poor one. Nothing of any particular interest. Alright, well that was exciting. So we need Amber to do anything there. Descend deeper into the house. Oh, there's so much here. We're just going to finish looking through here and then we will stop. The house's arteries are the size of corridors, many of them filled with stagnant sweet water and held open with arches of bone ivory. The walls are primarily polished chitin that resembles mahogany, though years of rot and decay have left many gaps to glimpse the dried out fat and muscles behind. Explore. The rubbery men here are less civilized than their topside brethren. Judgy. They wear no hats and carry no newspapers. Eyes watch you from within the walls. Your explorations lead through hardened sphincters that scrape your flesh. You squeeze through twisted doors designed to be opened by something entirely unlike a hand. The rooms down here are bowl-shaped, many half filled with water or unrecognisable fluid. Their doors are as likely to lead to ceilings or high up on the concave walls as anywhere convenient for you. Most are empty, or piled high with rubbery waste. The shapeling vats. Rubbery men head into the labyrinth of corridors and return with rainbows of damp amber. You carefully traverse a thin, treacherous path lined with endless deep, slime-filled cavities and basins. All around, the rubberies work at refining and reshaping amber into new forms and colours. They pause only to stare unblinking at you until you move past, more awkward than hostile. What is the purpose of their work? The exact relationship between rubbery men and their amber remains their own business. In London, amber is all much the same. Here they experiment, combining it with other materials to transmute it. A few flute excitedly as golden amber pours from the vats. It is the rarest and most beloved flavour. Sometimes amber emerges treacle thick and black as tar. The effort and resources that went into it is wasted. Effects of different substances will be the same for each captain, maybe not for future captains. Okay. So yes, we can add various colours to the shaping vats. That sounds like something that would require far too much investigation for me to care about. Can we go even deeper? The path is treacherous. The floor is slick. The air hangs with resentment. It becomes less civil and more feral as the light fades away. The alkali-infused darkness burns your eyes. Down here, the rubbery men commingle in quivering colonies and leach from weeds that sprout from pools of viscous white ammonia. The only light comes from smouldering apocyan fires, each attended by a rubbery chorus howling an endless lament. God, that's a lot of supplies and crew to hunt for amber. I'm good. Let's explore. The feral rubberies stare at you from their nests. The air down here is slowly melting the house's innards, collapsing lost rooms and corridors into one rank, endless cavity lined with calcified abscesses. Ugh. The foul liquid regularly rises to your knees, and itchy rash develops where it touches. Occasionally your feet kick against chips of amber in the mire. There must be larger pieces here, but hunting for them is not a one-person job. Not one for a captain, at least. Cool, I think we might be done. But we haven't explored outside. Explore the shell. The surface is desolate. It's littered with obsidian blocks from the fallen spires. Here and there a large piece of space debris has torn up part of the carapace and exposed the flesh below. Even that is desiccated now and cold as any rock. None of the damage you find looks like something that could be fatal for a creature of this size. Back in time for rubberiness, yes indeed. And exploring the ruins. Most of the spires have collapsed and crumbled. Oh, and that just takes us back to the Spire Adventures. Oh, okay. They're selling cheap bombazine. I mean, that's good to know, but I don't need it right now. And oh, and they just sell cage catchers as normal, and they sell fuel and supplies. This is all good. And we leave. And by leave I mean we pause because we've already gone over time. It's saved. And I think we're done. Let's just look at our chart. God, there's so much still to explore in Eleutheria. Very exciting. I'm certainly excited. And by excited, I primarily mean worried. But really, that's the best kind. Yes, we just saved a port. It was a whole thing. And there we are. Returned in time for rubberiness, but more importantly, you returned in time for the wrap-up. Sorry. Because we are done for today. So, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who's watched. Thanks very much if you stayed to the end. It means a lot. If you've been watching this, you know where to find me. But just in case, this is twitch.tv/Serasent. That's S-E-R-A-S-E-N-T. You'll see it on the title cards in a minute. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 2 PM British time. That is 9 AM Eastern, 6 Pacific. Other time zones are available. And we'll be continuing Sunless Skies until we, I don't know, probably until I die and rage quit. Or we might take a break to play something else. Anyway, we're carrying on with this for the time being. Except, the announcement, I am taking a break. Because I am going up the country to visit family while we still can. So I will not be streaming for the next... You'd think I'd have prepared dates beforehand. I know what dates they... I know what days they are, I just... What are dates? Yes. Yes, I'm going on break, taking about a week and a half off. I will return on Tuesday, the 8th of June, at the regular time. Because, yes, I'm going to go and visit family. I could, in theory, take a streaming setup there, but I'm not going to because I actually have to go and see people. So that should be good. But yes, back on June the 8th. Same time, same place. Take an actual break, yes, I'll try. Yes, if you miss any of the things or want to catch up while I'm on a break, excellent time for it. You can check out the VODs on my Twitch for 2 months after they air, or for things all the way back to the start of the channel, go to my YouTube, also Serasent, where it's every video back from just before we started this game. So you've got all of the Mass Effect trilogy, all of Paradise Killer, all of Pyre. It's all up on there for your watching enjoyment with any number of inverted commas as you wish. Subscribe to the YouTube if you want to be notified when I put more content up. It goes up at an irregular schedule, and I use the word schedule quite wrongly. You can also follow the Twitch to be notified when I'm live again, or if you think me succumbing to hubris and exploring new frontiers and nearly dying is somehow worth your money, you can of course cheer or sub on the Twitch, but you very much don't need to. Just turn up and hang, and it's all chill vibes, and I just like having people here. If you want to see me elsewhere on the internet, best place to find me is on Twitter at Waruce, that's W-A-R-U-C-E. Or on Saturdays, but not this Saturday, you can find me on twitch.tv/thebards playhouse, that's THEBARDS PLAYHOUSE, at 6:30 PM Eastern, that's 11:30 British time because I don't sleep, where I am in a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Fall of London Chronicle. It's a lot of fun, and things continue to go excitingly wrong. We are currently on a little 2-week hiatus because of holidays and things, but we will be back on that on the 5th of June. I did know that date and totally didn't just do the maths in my head. Saturday the 5th of June, twitch.tv/thebards playhouse. Also, again, go and follow them. They do a lot of good stuff, and if you want, you can catch up on our story while we're away. But apart from all that, I think we're done. So, seriously, thanks again for everyone being here. I love you all. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to recharge a bit and see people and fix my green screen. It's been so much fun doing this, and I look forward to seeing you all again. So, until I do, love you all, and goodbye.